Hey guys, so today is kind of like a semi-review day. Not going to do like an official review like we've done in the past for tests and stuff like that, because you're going to have a quiz, and I'll probably give that to you on Tuesday of next week. We'll just like do some review problems with me doing a couple, and then I'll give you a couple of different assignments with you guys doing review problems, and then we'll do a quiz on Tuesday to see how it's coming. So anyway, for today we're going to do a couple different problems. We're going to start with this one. It says, on average, only 18% of all parents come to parent-teacher conferences, or came to parent-teacher conferences. Back in the day, I had 120 stat students one year. What was the probability that I met with each of the following number of parents? Okay, the first thing you need to remember realize is that this is a binomial distribution, and we are going to use the normal approximation. So, because we need to correct for continuity, we need to make sure that we're going to move left or right by that 0.5 that we have chosen to do. So for the first situation, or situation A, I want less than 15 parents. Okay. Well, less than 15 parents, before we even get any further into this, we do need to know what our mean is and what our standard deviation. And remember, for the binomial distribution, to find the mean, mu is just simply 0.18 times the number of students, which is 120. Which means that mu is just simply 21.6. And our standard deviation is that the square root of that 21.6 times 0.82. Remember, that's the percentage of it not happening, and that ends up being 4.21. Okay. So, what do we do? Well, now that we have our mean, we can say, okay, this is what we're looking at. Here's our mean, 21.6. Here's where 15 is. Okay. What are we going to do? Okay. Do we want to do 15.5 or do we want to do 14.5? Well, it says less than 15. All right, so that means that we are going to do just to 14.5, and of course we're going to fill in to the left. Okay. We don't want to include 15 if we have less than 15. So then we get our z-score. Z equals 14.5 minus 21.6 divided by 4.21, which turns out to be negative 1.69. And if we use our blue charts, like you should be able to almost in your sleep by now, you should get 0.0455, or approximately 4.55%. For part B, let's say between 25 and 30. This one you've got to be careful with. The reason I say you have to be careful with it is because you need to know exactly what we're saying. Between 25 and 30 means that we are doing more than 25 but less than 30. So what does that look like? Well, we still have 21.6. We'll go ahead and draw a 25 and a 30 in here. But where are we adjusting? We want more than 25, so that means that we're going to do what? We are going to go from 25.5. And we're only going to go up to 29.5. And we're going to shade in between. Okay. So then we just go about finding our z-scores the same way we always have. Z equals, we'll do the 25.5 first. 25.5 minus 21.6 divided by the 4.21. And that's going to give us 0.93. And then our other z-score is going to be 29.5 minus 21.6 over 4.21, which equals 1.88. And what does that do for us? Well, that is 0.9699. This one is 0.8238, and again we want the area between them, so we have to subtract. When we subtract, we get 0.1461 or 14.61%. Okay. Now, for part C, we want 30 or more. Okay, the only part of this that should be troubling you is this, okay, 30 or more. How do I set that up? Keep drawing your pictures, guys. You know, the work that I see that's coming in from you. You know, some of you are asking me really good questions, and I'm just like, you know, but if I don't see a picture on those questions, then I don't know what you're trying to do. 30 or more. That means that I want 30, right? So I have to include 30, so that means I'm going to adjust down to what? 29.5. Okay? And then I'm going to shade in everything to the right. Now we've already done 29.5. Okay? So that gives us our 1.88 as a z-score, 0.9699 as probability, but remember, this is to the right. Okay, so what do I have to do? I have to do 1 minus that 0.9699, which gives us a percentage of 0.0301, or about 3.01%. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. All right, and you know, that just gives you another example of the type of things that we're doing, and some of your work that you'll have tomorrow will be with that too. Okay. I'm going to do a couple of review problems before I sign off for today. Okay. So review problem 1, RP1, if you want to call it that. We're going to say this: given a normal distribution with mu equal 45 and sigma equal 6.2. This is one that some of you had some difficulty with. Find the limits on the middle 80%. Okay. Now remember, guys, z-scores are not limits. Okay? Z-scores tells you how many standard deviations you are away from the mean. All right, so you're going to have to take your probability or your middle 80%, find the z-scores that go with them, and then convert those z-scores into your actual limits. So let's take our time here and draw our picture. Here's what our picture looks like. All right, first off, we have a mean right here of 45. And we want to know what these two numbers are so that the area under the curve on each side of the curve is 0.400. So the area from here to the middle is 0.400, and from here to here is 0.400. Okay, that would be the middle 80%. Okay. Well, guys, if this is the middle 80%, what you need to think of is saying, okay, how much of the area under the curve do I have from this value right here all the way to the left? Because that's going to be what I'm going to look for. Well, I've got 0.400 here plus another 0.400 here. But remember, from the mean all the way to the left is 0.500. So what I'm going to look for on blue chart is 0.9000, because from this point right here to the left of this point, all the area under the curve is 90% of the total curve. Okay, so what do I need to do? I need to look at 0.9000, and if I look at that, I should get somewhere around 1.28, I believe. So let's see, 0.9032, 0.9015, 0.89997. That's pretty close. So 1.28 is my z-score. So my z-score equals 1.28, but that's not my final answer. Okay. Now, one of the things that you need to remember is that this curve, and we're looking for the middle 80%, this is symmetric. So if my z-score from here to here is positive 1.28, my z-score from here to here is going to be negative 1.28. Again, we do not have our limits yet. We just have the z-scores. Now we have to use those z-scores to find our limits. Well, how do I do that? Negative 1.28 equals the limit that I'm looking for minus 45 divided by 6.2. Okay. If you do your math correctly, you should get 37.064. The right-hand side, 1.28, positive 1.28, equals x minus 45 over 6.2. So we're going to get an x equal to 52.936. Okay, so if it's going to cover the middle percent, so we can say that our limits are 37 is less than x, which is less than 53. I know that's a rather tough problem for you guys to think your way through, but the more that you do of those, the easier they become. Okay. 2 more problems for review. You, being the brilliant math students that you are, want to offer tutoring to the lowest scores on the last Algebra 1. Park. Okay. If mu was 424 with sigma equal to 22.4 and you only accept the lowest 15%, what's the cutoff score? Okay. Well, as I say, and as I'm sure you're tired of hearing by now, draw a picture. We have 424. Okay. We have some sort of cutoff score of x. Okay. And we have 15% of the scores to the left of x. Well, that means that this area is what? This area is 0.15. Okay. Well, look on our handy dandy little chart for 0.15. Let's see. Looking pretty close. Aha, it's between 0.1492 and 0.1515. Well, it's closer to this one, so negative 1.04. So our z-score that goes along with this x value is negative 1.04. So what do I do? Well, negative 1.04 equals x minus 424 divided by 22.4. Then do your math. X equals 400.704, so x would have to be less than 401. So if you're going to tutor this person in Algebra 1 at Park, they had to score less than 401. That kind of makes sense? Hope so. Remember, this is the review stuff again. So number 3. The most common IQ test has an average of 100 and sigma equal to 10. What score places you in the top 1%? Again, this comes down to understanding what you're looking for. This is 100, and I want some score up here. That means that I am in the top 1%, which means I am to the right of that mystery score. So that means the area under the curve, please do not put 0.1, it's 0.01. Okay? Which means that the area to the left, which is what you're going to look for, is 0.9. Okay, so let's see if we can find 0.9900. Should be, well, there's 0.9901 and 0.9898, so which is closest to it? 0.9901. So that's 2.33. So that gives me a z-score of 2.33. So what do I do with that? Well, 2.33 equals x minus 100 divided by 10. Or x is going to equal 123.3. So that means you have to score greater than 123 points on that IQ test to be in the top percent. All right, hopefully the 4 problems I did today are going to be a nice little review for you. Tomorrow you're going to have about 10 problems to work on over the weekend and get done for Monday. Then on Monday I'll be posting answers to all the homework problems that we've had so far, and I'll do another review video, and then you should be ready for your test quiz. All right, guys, have a great day, and I'll post some stuff for you tomorrow.